Well, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into the sunny Texas State side. We are in Houston today for the D1AA Championship final between the Kentucky Wildcats and the Louisville Cardinals. It is promising to be a blockbuster matchup today. Thomas Grant with the play-by-play, and alongside me, the very knowledgeable Craig Wilson, the contact coach. Good afternoon to you, Craig.
Nice to see you, Thomas. Thanks for having me. Very much looking forward to this one. What an epic clash we've got coming ahead of us.
Now, the road to Houston has been a tough one for both of these teams. We're going to have a look at the University of Kentucky highlights so far. Craig, walk us through this team.
Yeah, very, very strong team. They've got balance across their whole field. They've got a good scrum, good line out, and they've got devastating backs. As you can see, they put Boston College, a very good Boston College team. They completely took them out of the game last week with a big, big score. So I'll be expecting more of the same. They've got great momentum so far. These guys can score from anywhere across the field.
And following on from the Wildcats, it is certainly the Cardinals who can pack a punch as well. Their scrum, certainly a formidable weapon for them. See off the back there, that's big number 6, Laser Snake, with probably the greatest name in world rugby going in for the try there. But it's the combination of 9 and 10, Cameron Dolan and Stevenson, who just work this team around the park with such poise. It's number 14, JB Meyer, scoring a fantastic try in the semi-final last week. And Connor Hayes going in there. Both of these teams play with similar styles of play. They have the ability to attack from anywhere, and certainly lots of physicality as we bring you into Sabercat Stadium. Both of these teams taking the pitch now. The road to Houston has finally arrived, and we're going to crown a champion today. Will it be the Wildcats or will it be the Cardinals? Craig Wilson, give me your thoughts on this match.
I just think this is going to be an absolutely epic clash. You've got two teams who absolutely deserve to be here. Both teams, we mentioned it with Kentucky, but Louisville can score from anywhere on the field as well. I'm expecting a titanic clash. I cannot wait for this one to get going.
And the road for the Wildcats has been an impressive one so far. Let's have a look at their season thus far, Craig.
Yeah, 10 games, you've got a 9-1 record, and you just got to look at their latest game against Boston College, 51-14. That is a dominant performance. Likewise, the week before that, 32-12 over NC State, and a very similar score against Tennessee. So these guys can score points, just 419 for and only 149 against over 10 games is some record, and I'll be expecting them to put on some points today.
And for the Louisville Cardinals, it has certainly been a great road for them as well. 9 games with a 7-2 record there, and you can't look past their exciting semi-final last week against Virginia Tech. That went down to the wire. Aaron Stevenson, the number 10 for the Cardinals, proving influential in that victory. Tennessee 28 points to 24 and a win over West Michigan, 28 points to 0. Both teams going through their final preparations. They are getting primed, they are getting pumped and ready for this championship final. See the Cardinals there looking a lot more composed. They are a team with plenty of amazing coaches throughout their lineup as well. We've got Emil Walton, formerly involved with Atlanta. He is their head coach, assisted by Cameron Bernard, Kyle Freeman and Kelsey Harris. So a great coaching staff there for the Cardinals to direct these troops around the season. And conditions in Houston, certainly a lot better than yesterday. We can still see there is a slight breeze, but not as strong as we had to deal with on Friday afternoon. So great conditions for running rugby, Craig, as we get ready to get this one underway.
Yeah, it's a tough day at the office for the small colleges, and the D2 teams. Line out particularly was really affected by the wind, but it looks like a nicer day today. You've got the sunshine. Here comes kickoff.
And we are underway in this D1AA National Championship final. And Kentucky, the Wildcats getting straight into their work there. So carry up there by Everett Merritt. In the hands now of Phillips. They immediately push it to the left edge. A little bit of space here for the Wildcats. Happy to spread the ball to width nice and early on. Here's Jared Mornier. Cole gets it to Phillips. Back out to Virtus. Bit of space here for Holden Hahn. There's some width on the edge for Matt Virtus. Good stuff early from the Wildcats. Wallinga.
Take a step. Take a step. Right here. Take a step.
Cole just slows it down a bit. Gets it off to Phillips. Takes the line on himself before throwing the short ball off there to Luke Keogh. The Cardinals doing a good job at the moment to withdraw this Kentucky onslaught that's getting thrown at them early on. Just on the 10-metre mark, Cole finds Wallinga again. A succession of carries for him in the opening minute. Cole. Now goes Hall. Hall breaks through the gap. Joseph Hall. Fantastic left step. Still going Hall. The 22 beckoning. The Wildcats hot on attack. Cole. Phillips. Trying to punch through there was Luke Keogh again, the 13 today for Kentucky. Phillips gets the short ball off to Wallinga again. He only knows one way, and that is forward. Phillips. Curry. McBain gets driven in a solid tackle there from Liam Johnson of the Cardinals. Dunlop. The 22-metre line on screen there. The Wildcats are doing a good job to work their way upfield as they swing it to the left. Lovely interchange of play there. Luke Keogh. Cole finds Mornier again. On the 22 now. The University of Kentucky Wildcats. Phillips goes himself, finds Wallinga. 20-plus phases here for the Wildcats. And eventually, it all comes to an end, but how about that, Craig Wilson, for an opening 3 minutes, end-to-end footy.
That was very, very impressive. Kentucky are here to play. But what was impressive about that, they just had their shape all the way through. You could see they were playing off 9, they were playing off 10, there was runners at different angles. Very, very good defense. But you've got to give credit to defense from Louisville as well. They hung in there, and that was an onslaught. So let's see if Louisville can get a scrum, clear their lines, and build themselves. But that was very, very impressive from Kentucky.
There's our first look at scrum time for both of these sides, and the Kentucky Wildcats have stolen this. So a great defensive push there from the Wildcats as they're hot on attack again. Here's Makauskas. Cole looking for runners, finds one in the form of Curry, this dynamic blindside flanker, and they get the penalty. Not rolling away is the call, so they tap and go immediately. Cole, hot on attack, they're happy to play with some real tempo in this championship final. Marching forward is Makauskas, and they're in for the try. The University of Kentucky Wildcats have drawn first blood. It's George Curry, rather, who comes up with the score. And you mentioned about an impressive opening start to the game for the Wildcats, and it is even more impressive with the score there, the man out of Minneapolis.
Oh, it was just intensity. This first 4 minutes, you could just see the power there. It was from a tap penalty. Louisville giving away a penalty due to the pressure. It was just the pick and go and the patience, and then the leg drive to get over there. There's still a lot of work to be done there. But that was a statement 4 minutes there from Kentucky. And if the coach was going to draw this up, how we want to start a D1AA national final, that's exactly how you wanted to do it. Good shape, good commitment, good scrum initially, because that's where the turnover scrum came from, and then he added the points as well. So that's a great start. Just as we look back here, some great camera angles from behind. You can just see working on the floor, and then just watch this power. It was a speed away, and then the reach, knows exactly where the try line is. You're allowed one reach after your momentum has been stopped. And well done to that man, Gage Curry, for getting over. Wonderful try there for Kentucky.
Yeah, Gage Curry playing his high school rugby for Adina Rugby Club, studying kinesiology, so an impressive young man for sure as we're back underway, and the Wildcats lose possession of that one, so it's going to be the Cardinals to have a turn at throwing the dice towards the Wildcats. Donlan finds Eklo. This barnstorming young hooker. That's a great first up carry there for Angelo Eklo. Stevenson, show and go. Donlan. Happy to spread it nice and early again is Louisville, but good defense here by Kentucky. Penalty, however, falls the way of Louisville, so that's a good reprieve there for the Cardinals. After they've just withstood a pretty strong opening 6 minutes from the University of Kentucky Wildcats, they now get their turn to try and apply a bit of pressure in return.
And it all came from a good restart. It was a hanging restart. It was contestable, and Louisville managed to get that ball back. And then you've got players like Angelo Eklo, who's just on fire right now. He can carry away. Just as we look back at the penalty, you can see the tackler, as he made that tackle, he just stuck around a little bit too long. That means the ball wasn't available to be played quickly, what Louisville wanted, and that was an easy penalty to give away, or for the referee to give. You've got to roll away from that tackle zone.
Good line out there from the Cardinals, off the top to Donlan. Stevenson, short ball with Eklo again, who just dances through one tackle. Here's Laser Snake. Scored a try last week in the semi-final, and they pack up for the Maul. So the Cardinals managed to keep it at the back, and it's been contained by Louisville. So Donlan gets it off to Stevenson. Wide pass, and it's been intercepted here by the Wildcats. They're clean through and speeding home. Joe Keogh, will he have the pace? He certainly will. And that is some start for Kentucky.
Wow, what a play, what a turn up against the books. It looked for all money, but Louisville were advancing down the field. And just there, as Stevenson was given that wide pass, it looked like he was going to unlock that defense of Kentucky. But Joe Keogh, wow, he just picked that off. He timed it right, and he still had a lot of work to do. Raced away. Fair play to Louisville. It nearly got back there to make the tackle, but that was an absolutely epic steal. You can see just as he's winding up that pass right on the gain line, that's the danger of when you're playing really flat. And you can just see the speed here, just to absolutely fire away from Joe Keogh. He's working hard, and he nearly got caught. He had to go to the corner probably a bit earlier than he wanted to, but that guy had momentum, and he got over for a very well-deserved try. He's going to remember that one for a long time.
There's a brilliant read there by Joe Keogh, the man out of Naperville, Illinois. Read that one like a book, and we saw a similar style of play from the Cardinals last week in their semi-final. Aaron Stevenson really favours that wide cutout pass. And on that occasion, it was just a fantastic bit of rugby intelligence there from Luke Keogh as Phillips tries to add the extra 2 and can't do so on this occasion. So it's 12 points to 0. The Kentucky Wildcats are off to a roar in this final. See here on the replay, it was a pretty good attempt of a cover tackle there, Craig, but he just couldn't get away in time.
Yeah, just too much damage done, and that's what happens when teams play on the gain line. It can unlock defenses, but it's high risk, high reward, and you have to get your execution just right. On that occasion, Stevenson got picked off, but he's a good player. I'm sure he's going to figure it out and have a plan moving forward.
The Wildcats retain the restart, and they're straight back on attack here. Number 15, John Hall, who made a scintillating break in the opening couple of minutes. That one's been lost forward, so the Cardinals are going to get the turnover.
Yeah, good pressure there. Looks like pressure in defence. It looks like that potentially could have been a penalty, playing the ball from an offside position, but referees decided it's going to be a scrum there. Now, that was just good pressure initially. Again, another good kickoff. That puts maximum pressure on for a restart from the defence, and then you can see that Louisville were just getting up in their face, really just trying to cause as much panic as possible. And you can often get a turnover without even making a tackle because you're just getting the attacker's eye line, and this has given them great field position.
Donlan gets the ball out to Stevenson, who dances through the gap almost, but taken in a great tackle there from Jack Phillips of the Wildcats. Donlan finds Snake. Carries hard and out of shape here for the phase. It's in the hands here of Kramer. Matt Kramer thought about the offload, but kept it in, and the Wildcats try and pile in and steal this, and they do a great job. So Kentucky with possession of the ball now.
Don't do that.
Cole gets it back to Phillips, and they spread it wide to the left again. There's a little bit of space here for Kentucky, and they break through. Everett Merritt, still going Merritt. This big number 8 powers them towards the halfway. That's a great carry there from Merritt. Phillips. Wide pass there out to Holden Hahn. The number 7 today for the Wildcats. Cole. Phillips. Dardis. On the halfway here is the University of Kentucky. There goes Monier. Playing with some real accuracy and poise at the moment are the Wildcats. Before the Cardinals come in and steal it, but we're going to have no advantage, says the referee. There was an offside infringement, but that line speed just jumping the gun a bit there, Craig.
Yeah, it's what Louisville need to be doing to try and shut down this Kentucky attack. Right now, Kentucky have got it all their own way. They're controlling the possession, and they're just continuing to march and march upfield. And that's exactly what happened there. And because they couldn't get away from that quick enough, that impeded the scrum half. Therefore, an easy offside penalty, the referee Matthew Late to give. So Louisville have really got to start putting a lot of pressure on at the ruck so they can slow the ruck speed, and that will allow them to get their defensive line set. And once that's set, they can try and slow down that Kentucky defense. But it's much attack. It's much easier said than done. And it looks like Kentucky are just advancing up the field now.
As we see a little bit of Harlem Globetrotters style basketball skills there from the referee. Through the legs. There's the Wildcats. Set this one off the line out, and it's been knocked on there by Cole. So we're going to have a penalty. Offside is the call there from the referee at line-out time, so that's a good reprieve there for Louisville. Just as the Wildcats were wanting to keep that foot on the gas and extend what's a very good early lead in this championship final, as Donlin manages to find touch just beyond the halfway mark for the Cardinals.
Yeah, in finals rugby, the penalty came from just playing the ball again from an offside position. So there's an execution error as that ball came down from the line out. Number 9, Alec Cole there just knocked the ball on, and once he knocked the ball on, it was once played by those line-out forwards. That's why it went from a knock-on and elevated to a penalty, and Louisville's got an opportunity now to launch their own attack in a good position.
Donlin plays scrum half and gets it back off the top to himself. Here's a Laser Snake busting through one tackle. There's a dynamic ball runner is Snake. Stevenson, Morden Strauss, Connor Hayes, and they go to the right side with JB Meyer. Brought down in a good tackle there. And they've been taken into touch, so fantastic defense there from the Wildcats, and aren't they pumped about it? However, we're going to have a penalty in favour of the Cardinals. Dragged into touch was the call, so we're going to play on, and Stevenson with the ball now bumps off Phillips. Incredible carry there from the number 10. Donlin finds a runner in the form of Parker Anderson, who gets driven back in a great tackle there by the try scorer Gage Curry. Donlin finds McGivney. First carry of the game there for McGivney. Donlin. Eklu. Breaks through one to Zeklo. Here come the Cardinals. Donlin. Dull. Gets driven to the ground. This is staunch defense here from Kentucky. Stevenson. The switch play. Camarada goes himself through the gap. He tried to save that intercept try earlier on in the game, just didn't have the wheels. This impressive fullback. Donlin. Stevenson. McGivney again. Not making many meters here are Louisville, so Stevenson brings it back this time. Morden Strauss. Wide pass out to the hands of Danny Bombard. The Wildcats try to pile into this ruck. Can't force the turnover, so we play on. This has been an thrilling opening 15 minutes in this championship final. Plenty of running as Donlan looks to continue with the tempo of the game. Stevenson, short ball off here to Camerata. Dances through one. A little bit isolated, but Eklu goes into play scrum half and powers the legs through. Donlan. Dull. Past the 10-metre mark here are Louisville. Stevenson. Backdoor here for Morten Strauss. Taken in a good tackle there by Virtus. Donlan. Stevenson goes himself. This is incredible phases here from the Cardinals, but the defense from the Wildcats just holding up so staunch. Eklo fends off one and breaks past. Patience is the key here. And it's been knocked on and turned over by the Wildcats, so something had to give, and Joe Keogh, the try scorer, comes up with it, and they get the penalty. So Craig Wilson, you've got to give massive credit to this University of Kentucky defensive system there, just holding on.
Absolutely. Only, I would say 25 plus there. My pen ran out of ink as I was counting those phases as they were going through. Louisville were throwing absolutely everything at Kentucky, but what they did really well from a defensive point of view, they were really, really good with their tackling. They were getting some big tackles in, but also they were getting double tackles in. They were getting gang tackles and combo tackles, and they were getting off the line, which was absolutely excellent. And they were also making really good decision-making at the ruck. They weren't throwing too many men in at the ruck. That allowed defensive numbers on their feet, and that's why they could get their combo tackles and also those big, strong tackles. That was an epic defensive stand.
Well, that's Sherrill on his knees there, looking at a little bit of discomfort. See the conditions here in Houston a lot different to what these collegiate players have been used to playing, and they played on turf last week. Now they get this beautiful grass facility at Sabercat Stadium, so he's just regathering his thoughts and getting some much needed H2O.
Yeah, it's
an
difficult
start
out there. Like both teams, this is high quality rugby. Although we give massive plaudits there to Kentucky with their defense, you've got to give credit to Louisville as well. There's not many teams who can hold the ball for 25 plus phases. That is absolutely epic and testament to these players and to their fitness levels. And one thing I know about Louisville from watching them over the last few years, they can make a break from anything. They've got guys like Eklo, who is absolutely, he just looks like he's going to make a break every single time. You've got Stevenson, who's always looking for a hole. And one thing as well, they're a fit team, Louisville. They really are. They're actually Kentucky as well. These are proper athletes out there who can play the game. So we've got an epic contest here. If the first 15, 60, 70 minutes are anything to go by,
so we're going to take a minute
what
so
a
we can
challenge
get that covered. You okay? Hey, listen, I'm not the one rolling on the ground, so it's up to you, but we want to make sure. Are you okay? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, take a moment, get some more water. Emil, we got vomit all over the field. We want to cover that up first.
You can see there, they're just going to take a moment.
What's worse, blood or vomit? Well, he left some nice piles, so we're going to see if we can just put some sand on it and go.
For a bit of an extra hydration break.
Get into it, but if they can just...
There's 3 players who are going.
Right.
There's 2 from Kentucky and 1 from Louisville.
Yeah.
Brilliant insight there from our next level rugby camera crew. As everyone needs a little bit of a huff and a puff.
Don't worry about making that pass and play the system. Got to get out to the wide channels, Aaron. You got a 3v1 over there. Look up, look for the green lights, and make sure we get those hands to the edges. You guys good with that? All right, let's go, boys. Hey, we got to play system. We haven't played system. Yeah. We got to talk more.
Neil Walton there, the head coach of the Cardinals. I've been involved formerly with the Rugby ATL Academy, a great rugby brain. Now giving his time to this Cardinals program, which continues to be on the up. And there's the Wildcats camp, and they will be very happy with their start there, as we see the clean-up crew come onto the field. There was a little bit of puke that ended up on the hallowed Sabercats turf, so just shows the conditions there, Craig, and some discomfort the players.
I think it's the biggest respect to the field as we watch the sick be cleared off the field. It's absolutely a best testament there to working hard, and if I was them, I'd probably clean their shoes off after this, because there's plenty of sick to be cleaned up.
Oh, that's the National Collegiate Rugby staff there, doing a wonderful job to provide an awesome experience for these players here on the big stage. Just adding the finishing touches to make sure the grass is back to playing quality.
But I tell you what, Wheels, what a fantastic facility we have here at Sabercat.
Well, let's have a look at the opening highlights from this match, and we can see there's no shortage of physicality. This was the opening try here for the Wildcats. Gage Curry, it was just a beautifully constructed try, wasn't it, Craig?
Yeah, they really worked themselves into that position, and this one was just pure opportunistic, just stole that opportunity, and it was just great technique. Interceptions are a massive skill to be practiced, because if you don't get it right, particularly in that situation, it could be a penalty and at worst a yellow card. But Keogh there, he got it absolutely perfectly, raced away, and gave it and extended the lead from Kentucky. But Louisville were asking questions, so that's why I do think this game is still very, very finely poised. Despite the 12-0 deficit right now, I've got a feeling Louisville are going to throw absolutely everything, and they're going to get some points pretty soon. This is a really good contest.
Alrighty, after Gatorade and granola bars, we're ready for rugby again, as the Wildcats pack down for the maul and they march towards the Cardinals try line at the back here with Holden Hahn. The Wildcats not going anywhere at the moment. They break off eventually here. Mikauskis. The 5 metre line in sight there on your screen is Phillips. Back inside for Wallinga. Punches through to Wallinga. The number 1 for the Wildcats. Getting them on the front foot. At the back here within 5 metres. McBain. Mornier. Mornier goes close over the line. Can't get the ball down, so still here for the Wildcats. And they look to be over, and they are indeed. Try time for Kentucky. William Mikauskis gets one to his name, and we are 17 points to 0 in the championship final.
And one big stat coaches always look for is points on entry into the 22. And Kentucky have been in the 22 on 2 occasions outside of the interception, and they've come away with 2 tries. So that's a very, very big stat, what coaches look for. And again, this one was all just patience. It's the big boys going to work. He knew exactly where the try line was. Monnier got them that close, and he just gets over and finishes it at that last moment. But entries into the 22 and how many points you can convert when you are there is such a significant stat in rugby. And right now, Kentucky are at 2 from 2 for being in the opposition's 22. That is a big stat.
It certainly is, as Jack Phillips lines up the shot at goal here to push this out to 19 zip and strikes it beautifully through the uprights it goes. So Kentucky in the box seat here early on in this championship final. There's still plenty of time left on the clock as we see the replay once more. Look at those latches all around the ball. And
With defence, there's just really no option. Once you get that close to the line without being offside, it's extremely difficult to defend. You can even see how low they are, but all it was is just great game awareness, understanding of where that try line was. And then Mikalkas got his team a very, very important try. But that's off the back of a lot of hard work. Remember, it all came from that penalty, from a great defensive stand, which gave them the field position, and then the line out, and then they go to work in the 22. So it's built on the work of some really good defensive stuff, and that gives their attack the best option.
And we're back underway, and it's taken eventually in the end there by Kentucky. So it was a hanging high restart from the Cardinals, and the Wildcats just managed to retain position. Back inside here, it's Wallinga, a good carry. Cole finds Phillips. They dance to the left through John Hall, the fullback today for the Wildcats. Cole, brutal double tackle there from Snake of the Cardinals, and they get the penalty. So that's some sort of reward there for Louisville. But how about that contact there from Laser Snake, Craig? I felt that one from up here.
Yeah, that was a significant tackle there, and it looked like Kentucky were building actually some really nice momentum there as we just look back as they start to build some good shiftiness, and you can see the playoff 9 starting to form on the left-hand side. But look at that man, Laser Snake. He is ready to go in, and he had a tackler assist there. That was brilliant, massive pressure. You could just see Dunlop there. He just takes that one extra roll, and that's all it takes for a referee to say, no momentum there. You're going to have to you have to play it where you land essentially, or you're allowed one very slight movement. That extra roll there was just too much, and that was great reward from the defense to get that penalty, and it's much needed from Louisville. So Laser Snake stepping up. He had some bite in that tackle there.
So we've got a little bit more time off in this game as Parker Anderson receives some magic spray there to the hand. And we've got the referees getting the communications gear fixed up, so I'm sure both camps will be happy to take an extra breath here as hot conditions in Houston, hot and humid. It's typically the way I play here under the Texas sun. We're almost ready to get things back underway. 21 and change gone in this championship final, 19 points to 0. It's a pleasure to have you here with us live on the Rugby Network.
Oh yeah, he's got 15 minutes.
Next Level Rugby's fantastic productions. Of course, we had some amazing small college matchups yesterday. Plenty more to come this afternoon as Donlan will kick for touch here for Louisville. And that's a decent kick there from Cameron Dolan. Probably their first real opportunity of the game here, Craig, to see what they can offer from set piece.
Yeah, excellent kick into the corner. This is the exact field position Louisville were asking to get from their kickers, but now it's all about the forwards. They have to do their work. You can see they've got a shortened line out, so they're just going to try and make it as simple as possible, get that ball in and out.
In and out is what they do as Donlan. They come back the short side here through McGivney. That's a bit of trickery there from the Cardinals. The Wildcats almost get the isolated turnover, but it's with Stevenson. Back to Eklo. Eklo, powerful once more. Redman, Tyler Redman on the field in place of Dole for the Cardinals. It's now with Jensvold, Chris Jensvold. Gets wrapped up in a good double tackle there from the Wildcats. And Donlan eventually finds Connor Hayes. Rather, that's Snake. A little bit messy here for Louisville, but they managed to retain possession. Donlan finds Eklo again. No shortage of carries in this game for Angelo Eklo. Stevenson, short ball off to McGivney, but it's just fantastic work from the Wildcats. Stevenson, short pass off to Morton Strauss. It's been knocked on, so counter attack here from Kentucky, and it eventually gets bobbled both ways. So we're going to come back for the initial knock on, but this Wildcats line speed and physicality with their contact has just been so impressive so far in this fixture.
Oh, just absolutely epic defensive stand once again, and it's really built upon what they are. Yes, you can see the physicality, but what it's built upon is their organization. They get organized really quickly, and how they can get organized is because they're putting maximum pressure on at the ruck. One person at the ruck is putting a lot of pressure on. That allows all the other players to get organized. Once you've got organized, you've got numbers on your feet, and you can go with massive line speed. So it's a continuum defensively what they're building now. It's not just good tackling, it's built on a lot of hard work.
Phillips now with the ball gets it out to Dardis, who opts to put over the up and under. There's a little bit of open territory, but the Cardinals do a good job to collect it through Liam Johnson, who takes it into contact. Morden Strauss plays halfback. They come wide here through Connor Hayes. Breaks through Wonders Hayes. They're away. Here are the Cardinals. Hayes still going. Just loses it forward there on the ground. So unfortunate, and the Wildcats have stolen the ball. Back in turn though. They cough it up to the Cardinals. And they get the mistake. So a little bit of ping pong back and forth there. And the Louisville Cardinals end up with the ball, but that was some break there from Connor Hayes. So we get the
Just shows you
here
what they
on the
can do
next
at
level
any
rugby
point.
replay.
Yeah, excellent attacking opportunity. Just all it is, and that's the problem sometimes with a strong line speed. You are much more vulnerable to be stepped. You can see Connor Hayes. I thought he might have knocked the ball on in the contact here. Looked like that went forward. Potentially, it could have been a put in for Kentucky, but nope, Louisville got the ball, but they're under pressure here with this scrum.
That was a dominant push there from Kentucky. You've certainly had the upper hand when it comes to scrum time early on in this game, but the referee is just giving out his marching orders, that's for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, I couldn't tell. Crouch.
Yeah, the referee just having a chat about a little bit of a swinging elbow. I don't think there was anything in that. I think it was a swing and a miss.
Cameron Dolan gets it into the scrum. Powerful once more from Kentucky as it wheels round. And the Wildcats get the penalty. Too much force there. Just folding that Cardinals pack, and you can see the reactions there from the bench. They are pumped about that one.
And it's just, we mentioned it at the top of the show, Thomas, that Kentucky are just doing the basics really well. They really are. They've got their defensive sound, which is really important, which is putting Louisville under maximum pressure. But their scrum is firing, their line-out's firing, and they're getting the simple carries, and they're going a gain line across. So it's just accumulation of just doing the basics, but extremely well under pressure. And that is what's allowing Kentucky to have this 19-0 lead. And you just got a feeling Louisville, they might need to mix up their game plan a little. They're kind of running into brick walls, so maybe a few chip kicks, or just changing that picture, because the Kentucky's certainly got the ascendancy defensively right now.
Here you go, Kentucky. It's been stolen by the Cardinals at line-out time, so Aaron Stevenson dives on the ball for Louisville. Donlan plays it to the left. There's a little bit of space, and it gets tossed back inside, but messily so. So the Cardinals lose possession in favour of the Wildcats there, and they probably just needed to take that one to ground. The Cardinals.
Yeah, it's the DNA of Louisville. They like to play. They're a big offloading team. They're very aggressive on the go forward. So I'm not thinking they're going to go away from that game plan, but they can't hit the panic button. No way. There's still a long, long way to go in this game. Yes, it's 19-0, but you've still got 10 minutes of this half. You've got 50 minutes in the full game. So anything could happen. We just got to think about getting that next score, but critically getting parity in the scrum.
Scrum time here for Kentucky. It's at the back for Alec Cole. Phillips. Wrap around play, and it's back inside here. Brilliant incision there from Joe Keogh. Already a try to his name in this game. Here goes Mikauskis. He's got one as well. Cole finds the fullback, John Hall. It's been coughed up here in favour of the Cardinals. Lost forward, so they're on the counter-attack. Morton Strauss. Stevenson puts the chip through, and it's been collected there off a Kentucky body, so I think Louisville's going to retain possession.
Yeah, I like that from Stevenson. That was a nice little, that's the change of game in pictures I was thinking about there. Just maybe a few kicks through, but also this came from some good defense. And Louisville are putting a lot of pressure on. You can see there the pressure on that McJackal just forces that turnover, and then there's a bit of space there. And I just like this, running out a bit of a room, good awareness, just kick it away and try and get that, make something happen.
Here come the Cardinals. Morton Strauss, Hayes rather, punches through now. Morton Strauss puts the chip ahead. Racing after it is Brennan Morton Strauss, and tries to put pressure on the exit from Kentucky and does a good job, but in the end, the Wildcats get out of trouble there. They're going to play quickly here are the Cardinals. Matt Kramer gets the ball back to Liam Johnson, and Stevenson gets it in the nick of time. Dances through one, gets it off to Laser Snake and back to Kramer, but it's been lost forward there. So you spoke about the Cardinals' DNA, Craig, and they're not going away from it, as we see here. That initial break from Morton Strauss.
Yeah, it was a great break. Just look at the left-hand fend. Just look how he gets that left fend out. That is a brilliant textbook handoff. And then just talking about it, the kick, just changing that picture and also putting maximum pressure on. You can see Kentucky, they did a good job there, and they started to clear the ball, but this also gave field position back to Louisville, which is exactly what they needed. And they're going to try and get that offloading game going. They're trying to play high-octane rugby. We mentioned it earlier, Louisville can score from absolutely anywhere. So that's why this game is certainly far from dead and buried. These guys from Louisville can play. But Kentucky are hanging in there. You know, their defense is very good.
Well, we've got time off again in this game, and you can really see these temperatures are getting to the players as we get the communications gear checked out again for the referees. He's doing an awesome job, Matt Lake, of officiating this game so far. Obviously, player safety is paramount in these conditions, Craig, and plenty of electrolytes needed.
And he thinks, a rare compliment, he thinks you're doing a good job.
All right, I'll take it. Yeah, I can. All right, so give me a comment there.
Yeah, you hear me now?
Yes, I do. All right, let's just hope it stays.
Yeah, Nate, no one scores this half. Let's go. We control the ball, watch the kicks.
They're playing two up, they're playing there, so it's either going to be a sledge or
See wonderful visuals there. The Collegiate Rugby Championship Men's Nationals 15s live here at the Sabercat Stadium, and it really is a fantastic facility. Craig Wilson, the head coach there. Sam Anari, former Hartford Wanderer, one of the great Connecticut rugby clubs there. Team manager Gary Anderson. Craig Wilson. If you're Kentucky here, 9 minutes to go, you're up 19 points to nil.
The shot's more important. Whatever you want.
How do you attack this next 9 minutes? Do you try and manage the game a bit more and just let the Cardinals play into your court, or you keep the foot on the throttle?
I know we can do this.
Scrum time here for Kentucky. Kroll gets it back to Phillips. Back there for Ryan Camerata. Camerata dances through one. Hasn't had many opportunities with ball in hand so far, has Camerata, but he's very dangerous when he does. Laser Snake gets wrapped up there in a good tackle. Donlin, Eklo, tip pass on to Kramer. The Wildcats try and poach the steal, but it's in the hands here of Tyler Redmond. Donlin, Stevenson, a little bit of space. They get the tip pass away, but they can't collect it cleanly, so you can certainly see, Craig, there are those seams opening up in the midfield, but just not able to add the finishing touches.
Yeah, I've got a feeling Louisville are just chipping away now. They like a high-octane game. They don't play with a significant amount of shape or too much structure. They like to see a gap, and they absolutely go for it 100%. And they're very, very close to making these line breaks here. So although that looks frustrating from a Cardinals point of view, there's a lot of room for hope, because if that pass stuck, they are through the holes. And that's sometimes the benefit of not being tied down to too much shape and too much structure, that you play what you see, and that's a talent in itself. That takes a lot of ingenuity just to play that way. But they have got to start sticking if they want to make those line breaks.
That's a good scrum there from Louisville, but Cole manages to get it out the back for the Wildcats as they attack down the left side, and they threaten to break through. The offload isn't collected cleanly, so Stevenson collects it for the Cardinals, and will come back for the error there. So 6 minutes to play. The Cardinals, I'm sure, would love to get one score in this half just to carry that confidence into the second.
Yeah, it's just all about building momentum, just trying to get some sort of scoreboard pressure to, because both teams have been working really hard now. Kentucky have just got to play a little bit more sensibly. They don't need to force anything right now. Remember, this is a final. You don't need to, you only need to win by 1 point. They've got a 19-point lead now. But Louisville, on the other hand, can't be forcing things. They've just got to really stick to their DNA, understand why they've got themselves in the position, back it, and then really give it a go to try and get just any sort of scoreboard pressure.
Well, look at this power from the Wildcats pack. That is an enormous scrum, and they break away with Everett Merritt. Kentucky back on attack here as they just slow it down a bit for the pick and go. Here's Dunlop, the number 4 today for Kentucky. Mac Bain. They shape up for a pick and go here towards the 22 of the Cardinals. A little bit of off the ball stuff happening there, but we play on here. Phillips takes it wide. They chip it through for Keogh to chase. Hall, the fullback, racing away after it as well. Morden Strauss does a good job to collect it under pressure. But Kentucky still playing in the right area of the field here. The Cardinals carry it out through Redmond. Redmond sets it down as Kentucky pile into the ruck, but the Cardinals get the penalty for side entry. And they'll be relieved about that one, Craig Wilson. That was a lovely kick there.
Absolutely. The kick in, you look at this makeup of this physical ground here at Sabercat Stadium. It's got a really big dead ball area. That can be utilized for kickers, because even if you kick it into that dead ball area and put it down, it's still going to be a goal line dropout. So kicking is significant at this, particularly at this location. And there, but from a Kentucky point of view, you're going to be frustrated. Louisville are going absolutely nowhere. There's no need to have any side entry at the ruck, and I know they're desperate to try and make things happen. But just as we look back there, just as a contest, that's good enough. You've made Louisville commit numbers, and then it comes back down to that side entry, which looks a little bit tough on them. But you just don't need to give away those penalties. You need to be really clean with your decision making, and don't give a team like Louisville an opportunity to get out.
So it will be Cameron Dolan, the number 9. Also got the duties of throwing the ball in today, and that is a peach. So he gets the ball back off the top to Laser Snake. Back to Eklo. Eklo breaks through 1, 2, still going. Angelo Eklo onto the halfway here for the Cardinals, and he gives the offload. So 1 too many for the Cardinals, and the Wildcats break away through Hall. Joe Hall on the 22 gets the offload to Luke Keogh. Kentucky looking to finish this first half with a flurry. Mikauskis gets the ball back for Cole, who is impeded illegally there from Eklo, and we're going to see a yellow card happen in quick succession. So it goes from bad to worse there for Louisville, Craig.
Absolutely, from a line break to then giving away. It just looks like that ball was never out, straight off his feet. The referee deemed that that ball was still in the ruck, and then because they call it a cynical play or professional foul, that's why the yellow card comes. So that was a pretty devastating minute or so for Louisville, and particularly Eklo, who's such a dangerous player. It went from that amazing line break to losing the ball in contact. And that's actually happened a few times for Louisville. They've made the line breaks, but they've lost the ball in contact or just trying to force it, offload just a little bit too much. And then you just look at Kentucky, how we get the ball back and then just really build it up. And it's a good decision here from Kentucky. They've had the ascendancy in the scrum all day. So now with Eklu, they've lost the hooker, so they've had to bring on a replacement forward. That means they're likely to lose another forward in the bin because you have to swap like for like. So now there it is, the wingers going. So they have to change things up. So this scrum decision is not only good from a tactical point of view, they've had the ascendancy all day. So this is a great decision-making process here. Let's see if Kentucky can finish the job.
Just under 2 minutes to play in the first half here. Kentucky looking to stamp a mark on the first half. They break away through Merritt, who's taken height. Par towards the 5 meter line here for Kentucky. They get the penalty advantage. Holden Hahn almost with the steal, the Cardinals, but play on with the penalty advantage as the Wildcats march towards the try line here. It's Mornier opting for the pick and goes here. Wallinga, and they're over. Try time, Kentucky. It had to give. They stayed patient. They picked and go, and we'll get confirmation of who scored that try there. A replay to make sure we give him full credit.
Yeah, Mornier, it certainly was. Just a big man getting to work. You'd be very, very happy with that one. But once again, it came off the back of a good scrum and then just maintaining that pressure through their forwards. So the forwards have been doing a wonderful job. And once again, entries into the 22. Kentucky are in the 22 and they've been leaving with points every time. And just look at that big guy. He takes 3 or 4 players over with him. There is no way he's been stopped there. And he is pumped. There's a profile picture if ever I've seen one. He is on fire right now. Well deserved. But that's off the back of some seriously good work, particularly from the Kentucky forwards who are really putting a number on their counterparts. And that's why this game has got a significant point swing right now. It's really, really good.
It will be Jack Phillips to try and add the additional 2 once more. And you've got to give full credit to this Kentucky pack today. They've just worked so tirelessly in the first half to put them in a strong position heading into halftime. There's the try scorer on screen, Jared Mornier. And we are going to round out an impressive opening 40 minutes here in the championship. But before we get away for time oranges and drinks, we're going to chat to our sideline superstar, Tyler Deutsch, for all the action. Tyler, you got me.
Here on the Louisville sideline with Coach, that was a very physical first half. What did you see out there? What do you need to change?
Well, obviously, Kentucky is playing really well. They are taking advantage of every opportunity that we're giving them and capitalizing on that. And that means points, right? So what we need to focus on is playing at our tempo, trying to find some cuts back inside. As well, we're just trying to force too much, I think. I think we're trying to make one too many passes instead of going into contact. We're having a hard time setting up our system. If we can correct those things, I think we can put another 4 tries up on the board.
Great, Coach. Well, we look forward to an awesome second half. It's already been super exciting so far. Go talk to your team. Back up to you guys.
Well, there's the words there from assistant coach Kelsey Harris of the Cardinals about what they need to do in the second half. It's a very happy Kentucky Wildcats camp as we head away for the commercial break. We'll be back very soon with all the second half action in this D1AA Championship final live on the Rugby Network.
struggled with last week against Bath. Burgess, she's done it before, she's doing it again.
Dupria and the captain will run it in for Sale.
I use Thorne products pre and post workout to maximize my recovery, muscle growth, and make sure that I can be my best self on the field.
Thorne's a supplement company that I can trust. They're NSF certified for sports. I know that I can take this and know what's in their product.
I use their protein, get my muscles nice and big.
The products I use with Thorne have minimal ingredients, they're high quality, they're clean, they're batch tested, taste amazing, and it made everything in my recovery and my performance better.
If you're not recovering off the pitch, you're not your best self on the pitch. Thorne gets me there.
We got the hits. We got the kicks.
Oh God, that looks way too good.
The passes.
The athletes. And the fans.
We got the pride. And the passion. All we need is you.
In our game, we play with our hearts. We don't play with sticks, bats, or gloves. We don't wear shoulder pads or helmets. We keep playing when it hurts. And we leave everything on the field. What we wear must be built for our game.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm here on the Kentucky sideline. Coach Sam, also former Hartford player. Tell me, obviously the physicality is a staple of your play. What did you see out of your guys that first half? How are you going to make sure they keep that momentum?
We were able to maintain possession really, really well, and we expect to try and do that all next half. If we can deny them possession because they have some weapons, we're going to have a good day.
What was one of the main points that you hammered on during halftime huddle?
That the most important time is after a try and at the beginning of the half, and knowing what we're doing to execute.
Well, Coach, we can't wait to see what the second half has to bring. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Back up to you guys.
Well, that's the words there from head coach of the Kentucky Wildcats, Sam Minari. He'll be very happy with the first half performance of his side as we get back into second half action here in the championship final. Stevenson gets it off to Morten Strauss here for the Cardinals. They're going to look to exit within the first 30 seconds here. And Stevenson collects and shapes up for the kick that finds touch. Well, no, it doesn't. It's kept in the field of play from the kick. So Matt Verdis breaks away now. It's with Luke Keogh. Luke Keogh breaks through into the 22. Gets the offload away to Cable. Parker Cable's in for the Wildcats. No, he's not. He may have dropped it at the last second, Craig Wilson.
Yes, we need to see that one back again, but what an opportunity created just as we look back in here.
Well, referees just having a chat about this one, but it did look as if he lost control of the ball, so Get a look at the replay here. Here it is. Parker Cable. Yeah, that's a clear knock on for me, Craig. That's a brilliant try saver there from the Cardinals.
Oh, that is one of the great try savers. You can see how he goes over. Can you argue, is it a high tackle? Are we going to get a little bit pedantic now because it is over the shoulder? Could it be given a penalty try? That's the decision to be made, but the referees don't have the footage that we have, but there's clearly the ball has been dislodged. So let's have a look to see what the referee says.
Here we go. Wow, indeed. So it's going to be a yellow card and a penalty try. Craig Wilson, you spoke about it, and it has been spoken into life. The Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah, sorry there, Wheels. Great decision from the referee in the end, and he didn't remember. They didn't have the angles that we had, but it all just came from a kick that didn't go into touch. Keogh could run through. Oh, so the referee, my apologies, the referee looked at the big screen, which is right in front of him. He did have the angles thanks to Next Level Rugby. And then it's a high tackle, really clear decision. And then it's a yellow card, penalty try, and that is not how Louisville wanted to start this way.
Yeah, I think certainly the right outcome there. That is the right outcome. So well adjudicated there by the officials in Kentucky. 33 points to 0. The Cardinals, with a player in the bin, have got to roll their sleeves up here and get into their work. Cole gets it off to Phillips, and they opt to send this one deep into the 22 of Louisville. Stevenson can't collect it on first attempt, so he looks to try and break away, but he's been taken by Holden Hahn. The Cardinals under all sorts of pressure here from Kentucky, trying to force the exit as the Wildcats pile into the breakdown, and they look to have stolen the ball, but illegally so, says referee Lake. So they get away without trouble there, the Cardinals.
Yeah, just a little bit enthusiastic back ruck, but I've got a feeling you're going to see Jack Phillips, the Kentucky 10, kicking the ball a lot. Again, Kentucky really don't need to force this game at all. They just need to play in the right areas. Louisville are the team now who really have to start scoring pretty quickly. There's 36 minutes left of this game, 33 points down. That's nearly a point a minute, which has to be made up. So Louisville have got to start getting the motor on here, and it's going to be particularly hard with a man in the bin. And just remember, Eklo, I'm not sure if he's back from the bin as well. Remember, they had a yellow card just at the end of the first half there, so potentially 2 players in the sin bin right now for Louisville.
It's a valid point you make, so we've just got a little bit of time off here while we figure things out. It's number 4 there, Danny Bombard, potentially dealing with a bit of cramp under the sun here. Get the pickle juice out. I'm sure there's plenty of that to go around at Sabercat Stadium. As time's back on, and Cameron Dolan. They really favour that off the top ball back to Donlan. As he gets it in. It's taken at the back there, but it's not straight, says the referee. So it just caught the outside shoulder, and Kentucky will get the scrum here on the 15.
Yeah, you can see there defensively, usually when you go to a 3-man line out, you try and simplify it. That's why you can try and beat a team for movement, because it's much harder to defend. But you've got to remember that Kentucky have got Connor Dunlap on there, the very, very big man, 6'8", I believe, 6'7", absolutely massive in there. He's just a formidable object to try and defeat from a line out. He got his team into a good position there just by his own presence.
So Kentucky get the ball in with Cole at the back. Gets it off to Phillips. Phillips gets the short ball away there to Keogh. Finds the offload to Dardis. It's in the hands here of Hall. Hall manages to lose his footing and retain the ball though as the Cardinals pile in and try and apply some pressure. Phillips finds Dunlop. Phillips again. Played out the back here, bit of space for Keogh. It's in the hands of Curry. Curry back inside. That's a peach of a pass to Cable. Will he get the try this time? No, he gets caught up, so still hot on attack, Kentucky. Ball's available. A play there for Cole, and it's just been bobbled on the ground, so the Cardinals get the turnover. And Stevenson clears it down deep into touch, so that's a nice little piece of desperation there from Louisville to turn that ball over, but it's another great break there from Parker Cable, Craig.
Yeah, I think we're really important what you said there, like just Louisville are absolutely desperate right now. Just throwing everything just to try and get that ball back. Just see what the referee's having a chat there. Just look at the options, just a nice inside ball here. He just fought for the second time in as many minutes. He's making that line break, but credit to that last ditch tackle, not only the tackle, but to get back and then put maximum pressure on it. Miss Ruck. Looks like it could have been a penalty. Maybe he wasn't quite on the ball. That's why the referee didn't blow it. But this accumulation, this minutes deep in the Louisville half is just exhausting on their part. Let's see if they can handle it.
Kentucky get the clean line out ball, and the Maul gets sacked straight away. Phillips floats the wide pass out to Dardis. Back for Keogh. Hall shapes it to the right here for Keogh. Keogh down the right side. Runs a bit, still going Keogh. And he loses control of the ball on the ground, but play on, says the referee, so we're still on. Wallinga. Looked to have been a bobble for all money, but Phillips. Here goes Holden Hahn. Gets wrapped up in the double tackle by the Cardinals. Cole plays it off to Mornier. Already one try to his name today. Mornier. Cole back in for Hahn. Holden Hahn punches through the tackle there towards the 5 metre mark here. Are the Wildcats. Mornier. Tough to bring down. As they opt to keep this one nice and compact. Holden Hahn gets the short ball away to Connor Dunlop. The try line beckoning. Here goes Wallinga. Wallinga punching towards the try line. Here come Kentucky. Cole. Phillips. Chip and chase. Phillips goes himself. And it's been grounded. Try awarded. All sorts of confusion in the goal line for the Cardinals. And Jack Phillips gets the downward pressure. We can dissect this one on the replay, but have a look.
Yeah, nice chip through there from Phillips. Let's just see, did Louisville get a grounded in this? It looks like it was knocked back there, so there was no clear grounding. No, not there either. And then, yeah, and then Phillips collects his own chip through, and he gets a really well-deserved try. But you've got to say, when it rains, it pours for Louisville. I feel for them, because in the build-up to their try, for me, there was 2 clear knock-ons from Kentucky, but that's not take away from the final play there for Phillips. Just to see the space. Spoke earlier about the significantly larger dead ball area that they have here at Sabercat Stadium. That means you can kick a lot more, with a lot more liberally, just to try and get into that area, and that's exactly what happened there from Phillips. And a wonderful bit of skill, followed up his own kick, managed to put himself in the right place at the right time, and gets a well-deserved try.
Yeah, unfortunate there. Number 11, Liam Johnson of the Cardinals, tried to ground it, but the old bounce of the rugby ball can be so unfavourable at the best of times, and Jack Phillips will look to convert his own try to push this one out to 40 points to 0. Phillips strikes it cleanly through the uprights. See the replay here again, Craig. Just that vision as you mentioned.
Yeah, just a nice chip through there, just puts maximum pressure on. It just gets really difficult. But look at the skill, just look how he holds the ball upright, so he just has to elevate it over. The slightest touch is more than enough, and then he follows up his own kick. That's the key to this, and when he gets down, he gets a really well-deserved try.
He's had a standout game for this Wildcat side, just directing them around the park as we're back underway. It's taken on the over the top of the head by Holden Hahn. He does a great job, and they break away here again. Do Kentucky barnstorming is McCarkis towards the halfway for the Wildcats. Keogh gets it off to Hahn, but can't collect it cleanly, and the Cardinals will get their turn at possession now. What can they do? Redmond takes it into contact, and it looks to have almost been stolen by Kentucky, but illegally so. So Stevenson taps and goes himself. They want to keep the tempo going here, and they need to do just that. Robbie Saylor, fresh man on the field for Louisville. Back there for Hayes, gets it off to Morton Strauss. The floating pass out to Liam Johnson. Rather, that's AJ Ayers also on the field here for the Cardinals, and they get the penalty. Not rolling away is the call. Tap and go here through Camerata. Pirouettes through one, still going Camerata. Dunlop. Taken down there, Donlan gets it off to Stevenson, back inside for Morton Strauss. Brennan Morton Strauss, one to beat. Offload to Stevenson is a peach. And finally, the Cardinals are on the board in this championship final.
And that shows you what they could do. We talked about their DNA. When it works, it really clicks for Louisville. Now, it's probably safe to say, well, actually, I shouldn't say I've been watching collegiate rugby too long, that it's dead and buried now. But what a wonderful from Aaron Stevens, just to get himself back in, just give them seeing a bit, and the fans who've travelled all this way to support them, and a nice bit of skill. So you've got that inside ball, which is beautiful. I mean, just look at the balance running there. And then it was a good tackle, but the offload and the support from Stevenson to get over. He's been threatening all day. He's really trying to inject pace into his whole team, and he's just well-deserved try there. Good finish, and more of that in the next 20 minutes, and we might have ourselves a game in the hand, but they're really going to have to start opening up right now, giving it absolutely everything.
And the kick is a good one, so 40 plays 7. 53 and a half minutes gone here in Houston. And as you said, Craig, a few more quick tries could breathe this game back to life for Louisville. I'm sure Kentucky will be looking to get straight back into their work here with Phillips. Gets the restart a little bit deepish towards the 22, and Stevenson puts it straight to the boot. Manages to find some open pasture, and Kentucky will look to return serve here through John Hall, who manages to put this one out on a full. So the Cardinals get the result there.
Yeah, just good pressure. It was initially a really good kick from Stevenson. He just got some, first of all, got some good distance, but critically he found the grass and the bouncing rugby ball. That allows the defense that little bit extra time on the chase to just put a lot more pressure on. And as you can see here, we've got some good field position because John Hall, he just hurried his kick. It went straight out on the full. And Louisville got themselves some nice field position.
Here come the Cardinals. They get the short line out of the way. Back inside here for Donlan. Donlan breaks down the left, the scrum half. That's trickery from the Cardinals. Kramer goes into play scrum half, but opts to pick and go himself. Louisville with a real roll on here after the try. Stevenson gets it off to Morton Strauss, but it was just too far for him to regather, and it's been lost forward. So just when it all looks so promising, unfortunate error there.
Opportunity there for Morton Strauss. It looked like he was in the gap. Louisville certainly built their momentum just as we look back at the replay here. Yeah, you look just one hand with the ball. You've got to go with that with two hands, particularly when you're fatigued. The ball a bit slippery under this humid Texas sun. It's just the little details there that would have been interesting to see if it could maybe have got a try there. But you'll see from Kentucky now, they're in absolutely zero hurry. They're going to just eke every minute out. We're just going to build because they've got a 40-7 lead, 25 minutes to go. I don't think they're going to be in any hurry, and I think they're going to play a bit of field position too.
And it's a short arm the way of the Cardinals off the scrum, so they're going to get the ball back here, and they tap and go. Donlan whips it out to the left. Morton Strauss finds AJ Ayers down the left side, so Louisville with another roll of the dice here. Here goes Chris Jensvold, new man on the field, the big lock for the Cardinals. Stevenson off to Snake. Laser Snake knows his way to the try line. And a penalty comes the way of the Cardinals. And we're going to see a double blow and a person in the bin. Not rolling away the call there, Craig Wilson.
Yeah, it was a very clear decision there from referee Matt Lake, just as we look at the tap and go.
Yeah, Eklo straight on to attack the Cardinals. They need to play with their continuous tempo as Redmond. Donlan rallies his troops, gets it off to Stevenson, the little number 10, happy to do the hard yards himself. Snake, rather that's Kramer. Kramer punches past the 5. Here come Louisville. Donlan to the left. Stevenson, quick hands will do it. And they're over almost. And that time they are. Cameron Donlan with the pick and go. The Cardinals go bang bang. And Craig Wilson, I think we've got a game on our hands.
Isn't momentum a funny thing? Louisville had none of it for the first 50 minutes of this game, but these last 5 minutes, they have really started to bring it. What they've done, they've upped the tempo. And then Kentucky haven't really been able to breathe, and that's why the momentum's coming in. Just as you see there, it looks like Morton Strauss was going for the line, but then it was just that pick and go. Nice little offload. Morton Strauss was so close to this one. And then you got number 9, it's Donlan, who was just hanging in there in the right areas and got himself down for a try, and he's pumped because it's given themselves life. There's 20 minutes left in this game. If Louisville can keep this momentum up, remember now Kentucky also have a man in the bin, so they're a player down. This could really start to open up, but the tries need to come thick and fast.
Let's see if they can add the additional 2. Shape up for the shot at goal, and it drifts directly through the middle of the upright. So 40 points to 14. There's the try scorer on the screen for Louisville. Cameron Dolan, the man out of Chicago, Illinois, majoring in psychology. He's battled his heart out all game for the Cardinals. Talk about those momentum swings. 20 and a bit to go. Plenty of time left. Snake gets it off the restart and carries past the 22. Kentucky try and go for the steal. Stevenson dances through 1-2. Stevenson breaks away. Danger man for the Cardinals. Donlan, Eklo. Loses it forward, and Kentucky have stolen this. Against the run of play, the Wildcats pick and go through McBain. The Cardinals trying to get the poach there. Donlan's on the ball, but not good, says referee Lake, so we play on. Here goes Hahn. Play wide here for Phillips. Dardis, Keogh. Keogh beats 1 on the halfway mark here for the Wildcats. As the new man on the field, Weeks, and penalty falls the way of Kentucky, so just a slight infringement there at the breakdown. Unfortunate for the Cardinals.
You can see what they're trying to do from the Cardinals. They want to make apps. They're desperate. They want to make a lot of things happen. So they're throwing massive line speed in there defensively. They're putting a lot of pressure on at the ruck, and then they've just got caught infringing there. But they've got to make something happen. It's going to be like a really tale of two tactics now. Kentucky are really just trying to take all the heat out of the game, where Louisville are just going to try and absolutely cause chaos, and they want to play into it, just as we look back at a few of these tries here.
Yeah, quick trip down memory lane. Here's some of the scores in this championship final. He scored one of them, Cameron Donlan. We'll bring that to you next time. We put the wrong DVD in the player. Here goes Kentucky with the penalty here. Under 20 minutes to go. Nice touch. And about halfway outside of the Cardinals 22, so really important passage of the game this coming up here for both teams. If the Wildcats can get that extra score here, Craig, that's a very tough climb for the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's a pretty formidable score right now, 14-40. But you can see what Louisville can do if they get that opportunity. You see Kentucky is in absolutely no rush right now. They're just going to take their time in everything they do.
They set off the back here for Weeks. Back to Phillips. Wide out to Dardis. John Hall, the fullbacks, had a solid game today for Kentucky, as the Cardinals try and apply pressure. Weeks again, Phillips. The new man on the field punching onto it is Donlan. Replacement hooker for the Wildcats. Space down the left for Hahn. Hahn fights to stay in the field of play, and he manages to do so. Weeks looks for runners and finds Connor Dunlop. The Big Locks also had an impressive game today for the University of Kentucky. Phillips to Dardis. Dardis punches through one and gets the offload away. Just on the 10-meter line, and they get the penalty. Kentucky, you can see they point directly to the uprights. And a pretty easy decision, yeah, you'd think, Craig, just to eat up time on the clock. Take that extra three, it's still 40 meters out.
Yeah, it's a long kick, but he had absolutely, that was clear decision making there, wasn't it, from Phillips? As soon as that penalty was given, he was like, I'm going to take the kick, because even if he misses, obviously it's not ideal. You've still got field position. It's really, Louisville have still got to attack from 90 meters. So not only is it going to take about 90 seconds off the clock here, just to take the sting out the game. At the worst case scenario, if you miss the kick, they're still going to have to go. The opposition, Louisville, are still going to have to go the best part of the 100 meters to score. So just a really wise decision. You can see here, he is in absolutely no hurry at all to get on with this one.
Will be Jack Phillips. Got a try to his name today. We saw the impressive chip and chase from 40 meters out. Phillips strikes this one well, and it's got the legs. Sensational kick there from Jack Phillips, and you see he puts the revolvers to the air, back in the pockets. Maybe a bit of a Shooter McGavin reference there. 43 plays 14.
It looks like he could have kicked that from 60 meters. He hit that flush, and not only did he get that 3 points, he took significant time out of the clock and just really drained that momentum out of Louisville.
And it will be Cameron Donlan Just over 16 to go here in the championship final. The Wildcats with a formidable deficit. Take it into contact on the 22 and they break away immediately. Strong carry there from Holden Hahn. And they get the penalty, but it looks like time off. We've got some discomfort there, so immediately the medical staff rush on. Hopefully everything's okay there down on the field. All right, the DVD is loaded back in the player. This is the correct one, and we are ready to have a look at some of the sparkling tries in this championship final. And Kentucky have scored some peaches today, Craig.
They sure have, and it's come off a lot of hard work, particularly from their forwards. They have been brutal, but you look at this one, this interception, that was a great bit of skill. And just look at the balance running there just to get through. Fair play to Louisville. Look, he made it a little bit tougher than he initially wanted to, but he had the legs, he had the ability to get over. But it's been a big shout out to the Kentucky forwards today. They have absolutely grounded out those tries. Entries into the 22 and the amount of points they've earned from that has been sensational. Just as we look at Monnier here, there's 4 or 5 Cardinals around him. They're not stopping that big bulldozer when he gets moving. Brilliant play, and he is pumped. And just as we're looking there, they're starting to open their legs a little bit, and this just forced a penalty try. Great decision making from the referee. Just as he was going to try a score here, just look at the arms over the shoulder. There was no malice in that. It was more desperation, but letter of the law is that. And then probably the peach of them all is just that chip over it into the dead ball area. Look how he's sprinting to make his own luck. That's exactly what Phillips does. Gets the try down. Referee is right on the spot, sees the pressure, and a wonderful try there. And if we just look back at Louisville, they had something to say for it themselves. Great footwork there from Mordenstrauss, and then that offload back to Stevenson. He's been really, really threatening all day. It just hasn't quite worked out for him, but you can see the electric player that he is. So Louisville looks something to show for their efforts. There's still best part of 15 minutes to go into this game, but you just got to think at 43 points that it's going to be a long way back now.
Hey, let's finish strong, boys. Hey, yeah. Hey, possession, one hard. Hey. Hey, boys, you got 15 minutes left. Not yet. Boys, play slow, play possession. Look at the guy across from you and lay your shoulder. 15 minutes, boys. Play for possession.
Hey, every time we have a stoppage, continue it out, take our time, do what we need to do.
Guys,
I'm good. Listen to Tyler.
Stay quiet. Keep the ball. Focus on our rush. We're getting there late. They're counting rookie. They want that fucking ball. So get that ball back. Get into that Pence position. Get the ball back. Get it to the 9 so we can get it out so we can stop with the fucking counter rucks. Get the ball back. Be quick. Don't counter. Hold onto the fucking ball. And stop counter rucking.
Work on the ground. Get that ball back so we have a clean ball to play.
Guess what?
That's all we need right now. Clean ball.
If they're in your way, make it obvious.
Guys.
All right? If they're in your way when you're trying to get back,
hey, as soon as you make that tackle, roll away, second man in, don't go for the poach, don't go for the ruck, set up in the A and get everyone else set up, all right?
Stay up.
Hey, come back in. Come back in on the edge. Come back in all day.
Listen, guys, it's these minor details.
These guys are really good not pass.
Well, that's some brilliant insight into the Kentucky camp, and plenty of smiles on those faces. Craig, obviously the job not done yet, but they'll be feeling pretty happy with the efforts so far in this championship final. It's just been such a clinical performance right across the park.
You're totally right there, Wheels. They've just been absolutely brilliant there. We're just going to go for it just as the play gets back together a quick commercial break.
Cardinals players paying their respects there. Fantastic to see that player on his feet there. Just D1AA. So a really strong game for Louisville. So fingers crossed everything is okay with that, gentlemen. There we go, he gives the wave to the fans, so pleasing to see, Craig.
Yeah, great to see the good medical staff here. Glad he's walking off on his own 2 feet. He's going to be a bit sore in the morning. He's put a lot on the line for the whole season, not just this game. Yeah, it's great to see him go off on his 2 feet.
And we have still over 16 to play in this championship final. And referee Lake blows time back on. It will be Andrew Weeks, Wildcats replacement scrum half, with the ball in his hand, getting ready to get things back underway. Carson Green on the field for the Cardinals as well, replacing his opposite Donlan. Strong game. Weeks gets it out to Phillips. They spread it wide here to Kentucky. They've been brought into touch, and that's good defense by the Cardinals. And Cameron Donlan has shifted into the fly half position for the Cardinals, which we saw in last week's semi-final.
Just maybe a bit of complacency setting in there. Just that looked just a little bit sloppy. It didn't look like there was any energy onto that ball. Just getting in front of it. That's just a mental error, I think. With that break, they probably looked at the score. They think it's home and hose, but you've got to really switch on for these last 15 minutes. It's been a bit of a stop-start last 15, 20 minutes or so. Just as we look at the coaches there, probably having a chat about what could be going on, but sometimes you've got to tip your hat to the opposition. They've just been excellent. I don't think it's anything that Louisville's done particularly wrong today. Just Kentucky have been absolutely at it. But we've still got 15 minutes, and it looks like Kentucky are Louisville are going to have one big strike play here.
Will be Carson Green as the scrum takes a little while to pack down, and finally getting into place now. 43 plays 14. Green gets it in. Strong scrum by Kentucky. Powerful, but it's been taken off eventually, and Donlan gets it off to Stevenson. Quick hands to Morten Strauss. Morten Strauss looks for the offload, but it's been stolen there by Adam van Rensburg for the Wildcats. Stevenson, however, says, "I'll have that back, thank you very much." And Green, straight back on attack here are the Cardinals. Donlan finds a runner in the form of Chris Jensvold. Donlan again, whips it back here to Matt Kramer. Kramer works his way towards the 22 here for Louisville. Donlan, Stevenson, short pass off here to Camarada. Camarada still going down the right side. The Wildcats piling illegally. It's been tapped and go here by Carson Green. And the Cardinals try to get the ball down to Green, and it's been held up in goal. Sensational there from John Hall. It looked to be a try for all money, and that is a sensational try-saving effort. We might get a look at the replay here.
Look back, you can see for all money he looked in, but watch John Hall. Look how he gets under the ball. First it's on his leg, so there's no clear ground in there. He puts it down on his thigh, so that hasn't touched the ground there. Then John Hall stays in the fight. This is absolutely epic stuff. On the leg, there's no clear ground in there, and you can see that John Hall's now got his arms underneath it. Maybe another angle would help there, but it does not look like that's a try from me. What wonderful work, because John Hall could have given up there. It's not really going to affect the score, but no way he's going to do that for his team, and that is excellent play.
An incredible individual effort there from Hall as the Cardinals back on the attack here through Reed Terry. Kentucky go for the poach. Holden Hahn, hands on the ball, and he completes the steal. However, we're going to bring it back here for Donlan. So Donlan breaks away. The Cardinals manage to get the ball back. Green. Stevenson. Dances on to the 22. And they get the penalty. Green taps and goes again. Looks for runners to the left. Finds one in the form of Morten Strauss, but they lose control of the ball and we're going to have an immediate yellow card. Not back 10, says the referee. So a hot turn of pace here for Louisville, and Donlan's going to look to tap and go again. He does. Kramer. Head down, bustling towards the 5 metre. Stevenson. Back inside for Donlan. Back to Stevenson. Gets taken in. The 5 metre line beckoning here for Louisville. Here goes Jensvold. The Cardinals not done yet in this championship final. Donlan finds Morten Strauss. Green gets it off to McGivney. That's still a McGivney. Kentucky roll out of there, and Stevenson wanted the pass but got it on the second time. Can he get another try to his name? Donlan. Still going Donlan. Green. Quick ball off to Eklo. Back on the field. Eklo. Tough man to bring down at the best of times, Angelo Eklo. Lays a snake. Green. Chase Smith. Smith with the carry. Good defense here from Kentucky though. Stevenson. Wide pass in their space if they can get it there. Donlan goes back inside to Kramer. The Wildcats clinging on. Jensvold to the left. Morten Strauss. Kentucky not giving up here. Stevenson, the chip and chase. Who's chasing it? Laser Snake's got it. Donlan gets it off to Smith, inside to Stevenson. That is a brutal tackle there from Andrew Weeks. They pick and go. The Cardinals still going here through Ryan Camerata. Back to Eklo, and Eklo's in for the try. It had to give eventually. It was blow after blow, and Kentucky in the end just couldn't withstand the onslaught.
Oh, credit there to Louisville, just threw the absolute kitchen sink there at Kentucky. And I tell you what, that Aaron Stevenson, he was involved probably 15 times in that, as we see Eklo get over eventually from some really, really good work. Aaron Stevenson, the Louisville number 10, he is a fantastic player. Everything good comes through him. And you can see now, you can just see what Louisville can do when they put it together. I do think it's just a little bit too late right now, but it just shows you the character of this team, just to keep fighting, keep giving it everything they have, and just giving themselves any glimmer of hope as Kentucky slowly walk up to the ball. They're certainly not in a hurry now.
Jack Phillips, 43 plays 21. You've got to give credit to this resilient Cardinals outfit. Down 40 points to 0 at one stage in the game, as Phillips can't execute that one cleanly. And we're going to come back for a midfield scrum, so a quick try here will no doubt send some nervous shockwaves through the Kentucky Wildcats camp.
Well, the last thing though Louisville needed, I felt, was a scrum there. I think that's why Stevenson was given everything to try and play that ball. Because not only does this take valuable minutes out of the game, you've got to say that Kentucky's had the ascendancy at the ruck time. So for Louisville, this has got to be Seven's time. Get that ball in and out that scrum immediately by any way possible and try and launch an attack. Because as you say, if they get a try here, wow, it certainly becomes an entertaining finish.
And Kramer manages to get it off the back of the scrum. They're on the halfway line, are the Cardinals. Eklo, the try scorer, fends off one. Green gets it off to Snake, who gets driven backwards immensely by Holden Hahn. They shift it to the right here to the Cardinals. Morton Strauss. Green finds Smith, gets the offload to Reed Terry. Terry manages to stay on his feet. Kentucky wrap him up. Green, Donlin, Stevenson, wide pass, Morton Strauss, Eklo. Almost beats the tackle of Adam Van Rensburg. Donlin. The Cardinals throwing everything at this Wildcats backline. Kramer. They pile in, do the Wildcats, trying to get the steal, but couldn't get it. Stevenson. They break away here. Camerata. Stevenson plays scrum half, dummy and go, but gets driven back by Virtus. Camerata again. Green. Punching their way towards the halfway mark are the Cardinals, but great defense from Kentucky. Brutal tackles, they're over the ball, but illegally so, says referee Lake. Not rolling away, but geez, some of these shots that are coming in, Craig Wilson, the physicality. You can see players down on their feet for the Cardinals. Just brutal.
Testament to both teams. You mentioned at the top of the show, incredible athletes on both shows. This is at the end of a very, very long bruising season, and this match has just had physicality all over it. But not only physicality, there's been a lot of running meters in this as well. There's been a lot of ball and play time once teams have got going, and you can just see that every ruck is a battle, every tough tackle is a battle, every carry, there's defenders around it, and these young men are putting so much effort in for their teammates, for their colleges. Got to be very, very proud of that. I'd love to see just that contest again.
See here on the replay, spoke about the physicality we're to see here. Camerata off the carry. There's number 13, Luke Keogh. He timed that pretty well, Craig. Not late for me.
Nothing than that. He was making the tackle, just a good strong offload. He just got on the wrong side of it.
Nevertheless, we play on here. Just over 5 minutes to go. 43 plays 21. Carson Green gets it into the line out, receives it back. Finds Chase Smith, who punches through one tackle. Green. Stevenson off to Eklo. Eklo taken in a high tackle there, and they punch forward. Green finds Robbie Saylor, who shrugs through one. Stevenson gets the bobble and can't collect it cleanly. We're coming back for the penalty advantage, and Stevenson takes it quick. Dummies and go, breaks one. Still going Aaron Stevenson. Green. Donlin. Morton Strauss back to Eklo. Here goes Donlin, back to Robbie Saylor. 5 metre line on screen for Houston. Chase Smith gets driven back. Physical by Holden Hahn again. He's been immense defensively today for the Wildcats. Stevenson, Camerata. Almost gets through the tackle there of Jack Phillips, but Phillips manages to wrap him up. Snake gets the pass away to Jensvold. Still going here are the Cardinals. Green. Smith. Space to the left, and Donlan gets the offload back to Green. 3 minutes to play in this championship final, 43-21. Cameron Dolan finds Liam Flynn, new man on the field for Louisville. Kentucky not letting anything through here. Stevenson gets a wide bounce pass away. Breakaway here through Jake Summers. Stevenson gets the return. Green complaining of being impeded there, but they break away through Smith. They'd love another consolation try in this final. Morden Strauss can't get the clean pass away. It's been stolen by Luke Keogh. Kentucky rewarded for their resilience, but they don't get the reward on the second try as the Cardinals tap and go. Kramer. Here goes Kiona Hayes. Back to Saylor. Saylor's wrapped up in the tackle there of Wallinga. Green to Stevenson, back inside for Morden Strauss. Morden Strauss going towards the line. Back to Stevenson. Green, Snake, Camerata, and Camerata is in for the try. Beautiful angle there, Ryan Camerata. And that's just great patience there from the Cardinals, Craig. They'll look to take the conversion quickly.
Yeah, once again, just great build-up play. Ball and play time has been epic for this game. It's just phase after phase, another 20 phase set there, and then eventually just running out of numbers. Really great camera shot there into the try. It just shows you what Louisville can do. They're going to be kicking themselves a little bit too late in the game when they brought it back together. But my word, what an effort, and something to hang your hat on and come back into the game. It's been all Louisville these last 20 minutes, and you can see now they've really built that. They've got some credibility back onto the scoreboard, and I feel if this game was another 10 minutes long, I think we would have an epic finish, but I think the clock is just not on Louisville's side right now.
Back into action here. It's been knocked on there by the Cardinals off the restart. Time's winding down. You can see the Kentucky fans in the background preparing for ultimate celebrations. Just a bit of unfortunate confusion. And Andrew Weeks with the ball here for Kentucky. Weeks gets ready to feed it into the scrum. And the back for Weeks. He sends it into touch. And your D1 champions, the University of Kentucky Wildcats. Congratulations. An impressive performance, an impressive season, kicked off with a championship. Going to try and sneak down for all of the emotion here, but Craig, what a match. They've got the trophy in their hands already. They've wasted no time.
The University of Kentucky. They're going to leave as winners from this championship. Thank you for supporting us on Next Level Rugby and the Rugby Network.
Here we go, the reaction there from Mornier. It's been a fantastic game from Kentucky. The Cardinals have to hold their heads high, though. They have been immense all season. We'll see you next time here live on the Rugby Network. It has been a pleasure to have your company. The Wildcats, your D1AA champions for 2023.